Guys, it's your girl Coco Kinsey back at it with another video. So over the weekend, Netflix released Chris Rock's comedy special, Selective Outrage, and it was met with just that, lots of outrage and lots of opinions. Of course, many of us who were watching, the biggest thing we were waiting for and waiting to hear was just how Chris Rock felt about the Will Smith Oscar slap heard around the world last year. And he definitely brought it, he gave it, and let us know exactly how he felt and why he felt that way. There were so many opinions online, guys, so many opinions. Of them that I saw, one of the biggest ones that was so disappointing to me, and knowing that it was going to come up, was timing. I saw so many people say, oh, he needs to let that go. He should get over it. It was a year ago. And I thought, man, these are the same people, some of the same people I actually know. And then some people just, again, like in the culture we live in, I always see, especially within the Black community, where we talk about mental health matters. Black people's mental health matters too. Therapy, talk it out, talk to somebody, tell your truth, speak your truth. Well, that has to go for everybody, even people we may not like, even things that, because some people, obviously have taken sides. Some people took Will Smith's side, some people took Chris Rock's side, but you cannot have selective outrage and say that people can't discuss things when it's somebody you don't like. And then furthermore, even if that's not the reason, even if you just feel like, okay, it just needs to let it go. Trauma, there should not have statutes of limitation on it. Because especially when it's not your trauma, it's not yours to have, it's not yours to set limitations on. And this goes for both men. Now, we can go back to the Oscars when it actually happened. We can start at the very moment before where the joke happens. Now, personally, I saw nothing wrong with the joke. G.I. Jane is a badass woman, kicking butt, doing her thing, rocking with the men and doing it better. So, hey, I love it. But I get also the nuances of when jokes are told that it could have been offensive. Yes. Did it warrant somebody putting hands on somebody? No, even if you choose to do so, because some people do feel as though I got to defend my woman's honor or my person. And hey, that's fine, but understanding that it does come with consequences. I do agree with Chris Rock in his comedy special, in which, so many of us discussed that I don't know if it was Vin Raines on that stage or Wesley Snipes or somebody else, The Rock, whoever, somebody of a different stature than Chris Rock, if Will Smith would have had the galls to walk up and do what he did. I definitely think that Chris Rock was an easy target. But also in saying that, many of us who watch the press, we watched, well, as Chris Rock stated, Will Smith was constantly being called a bitch, calling this, that. Which again, I do understand. And you choose to be in an unconventional marriage, it's going to come with especially when you put it out there, it's going to come with a lot of opinions. And I know people feel like you should be able to take it. And on some level, when you put yourself out there, you should have some understanding that it's going to come with opinions. But understanding also that it may hurt, and it doesn't. We are human. Stuff gets to us and it can fester up, and then it can lead to sometimes bad decisions. Does that make his trauma any less valid? Absolutely not. But the same also applies to Chris Rock. He was slapped. He was assaulted on national television in front of millions of people for it to constantly be replayed over and over and over and over again. So if he's not over it yesterday, today, tomorrow, that is his business and his trauma to hold and work through however he chooses to. And that is the beautiful thing I feel about art. What he did was art, and how many of us who go to therapy, one of the ways that we're told to express ourselves is through art, to tell our story, to tell how you feel. Some of the most amazing pieces of visual art, comedy, what are expressed through somebody's therapy, somebody getting out their trauma through storytelling, and it can make them feel better, and that's okay. And good art at its core, when it's doing what it's supposed to do, provokes good conversations where people are talking and trying to work out things, or it makes you question different things, the things that maybe go against the norm and make us challenge it. So I absolutely love what he did, what he said. Do I have to agree with every single thing he said? Absolutely not. But again, that's what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to get these conversations going, challenging the norm, the establishment, so we can begin to have conversations outside of society's norm that says that maybe this is not okay to discuss. And when we look at any kind of therapy, even as it began, the whole thing that got Will Smith kind of out there into a mess where his life was being discussed, because it came from a show based on people discussing their lives, the things that maybe they needed to get out. We have to allow outlets for that and not try to put parameters on people's trauma. Will Smith has the right to talk about his trauma. Chris Rock has the right to talk about his trauma. And however they need to talk about it to get it out, because I would rather them get it out than for Will Smith or anybody else for that matter to have another outburst where it does cause an assault or worse. Or look at how much, I know definitely both men have gained a lot in some ways, but just mentally definitely gone through a lot. And you look at how much Will Smith had worked hard for finally to get here to where they're so overshadowed by one moment of bad judgment. Is it worth it? So we have to find ways and allow people the space to be able to talk about whatever it is that they need to get off their chest, and not say that, this much time has gone by, get over it. Because everybody processes and goes through what they go through in a many ways. Now, if you didn't like some of his delivery on it, I get it. But however you need to get it out, get it out. The second thing that I was surprised by, because I took it so totally different. So if you took it a different way, definitely let me know in the comments. All I ask, I don't care, look, y'all, we could disagree. All I ask is that we remain respectful. Well, it was a big deal for many when Chris Rock stated that because it was like, well, why didn't you punch back? Why didn't you do that? And he said that my mom taught me that not to fight in front of white people. And there were so many people that took it like, he was called a coon. He was called this. Oh, Massa, we don't want to upset Massa. I did not take it that way at all. I took it in a Black excellence kind of way. Now, my mom did have me later in life. And while she was towards the end of like the Jim Crow segregation era, that wasn't something she truly experienced. But what she did experience was the roots and foundations because it was coming right off the heels of that in the South, where she was very rooted. The Black community was very rooted in one another. And there was so much pride in Black excellence, which I feel like we're starting to get to a place back there now where it's really shining. So when Chris Rock said that to me, though I definitely get the joking aspect of it, as we said, through comedy, one thing, and I've said it before if you watch some of my videos in the past, where something that was always said to me is you are a credit to your race. And what that means is how you choose to present yourself when you go out, when you're speaking. You want to show people, especially you think about the Oscar stage, we have so many people in different worlds and different areas where they've never even seen Black people. Now, this is a show the whole production, everything is being put together by a Black staff. We've got people winning who normally don't get to be seen. And to mess up that moment and to have it and to feed into a stereotype would be just such a disappointing moment for a time where we want to shine, where we want to show just how great we are, just how magnificent, we can be. Does it mean that you don't address situations? Absolutely not. But I don't look at it as a cool move. I look at it as sometimes there's stuff internally you get together within your community, because the last thing you want to do is feed into a stereotype that is often so wrong. And I'm not saying that it's something horrible in the fact that people even feed into stereotypes, but a lot of times it's based out of ignorance. Sometimes it is based out of racism, biases, of course. But when we have a moment to shine and show just how brilliant we are, let it be. That's how I took it. I didn't take it as cool, no, Master, we need to go in the back and we need to, no, it's not because it really had nothing to do with white people and that we're not going to fight in front of them. More so is just having pride in ourselves. That's how I took it. You guys let me know how you took it. I can't wait to hear your outtakes in the comments. Be looking for another video real soon. Hope many blessings. Hope everybody's having a great week, and I'll talk to you real soon.